All right, check this out. Elon Musk and Doge just got smacked in the face with a reality check and took their first massive L. Or is the L this way on camera? Either way, Elon Musk just took a massive L, and we have to break it down because I know things have seemed quite bleak lately with Musk and his billionaire buddies doing a hostile takeover of our most important institutions, and we've been covering that relentlessly. But I also want to cover some roadblocks that he's been hitting because he had sky-high ambitions, and they did run into the inertia of Washington, D.C. And I've said this time and time again, but when our institutions begin to fail, we have individuals left, people at an individual level holding the line, and I think we should highlight some of those people today because federal workers have come together to revolt against Musk, against Trump, against the billionaires surrounding them, and we totally should break it down. So drop a like, make sure you subscribe to the Mockler channel. Almost 70% of people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so go ahead and do it. It's free. And let's just start here. 20,000 federal workers have taken the buyout offer so far, official says. And while that seems like a lot, it is well below what Elon Musk was aiming for. And even people on the federal worker subreddit, the Fed News subreddit that I've covered a few times, where thousands, hundreds of thousands of federal workers come together to talk about their experience, they've been saying that they've been receiving increasingly desperate emails from Elon Musk and from the people trying to get them to take these buyout offers. So this all starts with this post right here. Reporting shows that after all of the fanfare, Elon Musk's Doge team has only been able to secure roughly 20,000 volunteers for its deferred resignation package, or DERP campaign, seeing as how any given year 5 to 7% of the 2.3 million strong workforce, or approximately 138,000 workers, separate from the service. This is utterly unimpressive. Again, they hit 20,000 volunteers to resign when usually, even without that offer, you see 138,000 workers turn over. So again, utterly unimpressive. Elon has come into this admin promising to cut up to 70% of the workforce in some areas, so the fact that he is unable to secure even a 1% staff reduction shows us that we have our first Doge failure. Civil servants over in Fed News, the subreddit that we're about to cover, and corroborated by me, have spoken out about how they are receiving increasingly desperate emails from the Doge-ran OPM HR email address, begging people to take the fork in the road offer, begging them. Some have likened the communications to an obsessive ex that you won't answer back. And before we break down some of these emails that Elon Musk has been sending, Senator Alyssa Slotkin sent out a great Twitter thread about how Elon Musk is terrorizing the federal workforce. So read this. Quote, I served for over 15 years in the federal government working to protect the country from terrorist threats. A short thread on Elon Musk. 1. The targeting across our federal government of law enforcement to flight safety inspectors, to weather forecasters, or those who test our drinking water, to doctors conducting clinical trials for children with cancer is not just wrong, it will result in Americans being less safe. And I want to pose the question to you guys watching. Let me know in the comments. Do you feel safe in Trump's America? Do you feel safe flying? Do you feel secure in your job? Are egg prices down yet? Do you feel safe overall? Alyssa Slotkin then says, 2, I have no problems cutting fat from the system. No one has any problems making the government more efficient, but this approach is way too broad and risks throwing the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to professions that Americans rely on, whether they know it or not. 3, Elon Musk, an unelected billionaire, now has access to Americans' private and personal information, including sensitive tax documents and more. This raises all kinds of questions about the use and abuse of that information for targeting of citizens, to use for legal or financial gain. And finally, Musk's personal interests, from his vast investments in communist China to his opposition to the Big Three, simply don't align with the interests of the average Michigander. And someone else replied, someone who's not the senator replied a picture of Elon Musk in an SS uniform, but that's to the side. Let's go over to the Fed News subreddit and see what federal workers are saying. Somebody posted a funny thread saying less than 0.7 take the fork offer. Lol. According to Axios, less than 0.7 and almost entirely people who had planned to retire in the first few months of this year decided to roll the die and maybe get a free 8 months of pay by taking it. On average, 10,000 employees retire each year. Anyway, Elon and his merry band of Nepo babies wasting resources and increasing the federal deficit by incompetently targeting a federal workforce that only accounts for 4% of the federal budget. People have said this a lot, but if you actually want to reduce waste and reduce our spending, go to our military budget. I don't think we should reduce the budget overall, but there are certain key sectors you can target where they are absolutely price gouging, where contractors are price gouging the government, but oh wait, Elon Musk benefits from that being the case. Somebody in the reply said, I have a coworker who'd actually like to take the offer, but it's too, quote, sketchy for them to send a resign reply by email. Kind of crazy how they went about this buyout. Someone says, this federal employee says, I'm close to retirement, so when I first heard of this offer, I was intrigued and slightly tempted. Then I read the actual offer. No way. He says, no way. But here's another thread. Yet another fork in the road email, this person says, quote, they just sent out a second email encouraging us to take the scam offer, this time trying to sweeten the pot by offering to allow us to do outside work while on government time. For anyone who somehow doesn't already know this, that would be illegal. Then they go on to accuse government workers of being lazy, contrasted with the hyper-productive workers in private industry, which is hilarious coming from a rich boy who's never done a day's hard work in his life, obviously referring to Elon Musk. This says, the laziest people I've ever worked with were in the private sector. Stay strong and recognize these emails for what they are. Desperate emails coming from Elon Musk because Doge is failing to cut 70% of the federal workforce. I mean, the last time Elon Musk cut 70% of something, it was X. He cut the Twitter workforce by 70% and then rebranded it to X, and that turned X into a poorly moderated Nazi cesspool. So if their goal is to turn the government into a Nazi cesspool, then I guess Elon Musk is on the right track, especially with his odd Hitler-esque salutes, right? So then they show this email that says, am I expected to work at the government during the deferred resignation period? No. And they even say Americans should move from lower productivity jobs in the public sector to higher productivity jobs in the private sector, essentially implying that people are lazy if they work for the federal government. Someone said, also wasn't aware we accrued personal leave days and vacation days. These bozos haven't the slightest clue. I'd be embarrassed if I were them. And let's go over to this Axios article about how much Elon Musk has failed. About 20,000 federal workers have accepted the buyout, which sounds like a high amount, but you have to remember it's only about 1%, less than 1% of the federal workforce, substantially less than the White House's target of 5 to 10%, and substantially less than Elon Musk's goal of 70% of the federal workforce. The offer is open through Thursday, meaning the total could rise despite heavy opposition from unions and others. What they're saying, quote, we expect more to come. If you see what's happening at US aid, it's just one piece of the puzzle. What they mean is they expected more to come. They expected more people to come, and now they're wondering where they went wrong. And I will urge you guys, if any federal workers are watching this video, hold the line. You can go to the Fed News subreddit and talk to like-minded people, but hold the line, because the parallels between Musk's Doge and the failures there and the Trump admin's recent failures are clear. And it's that top-down attempts to manipulate and control people, top-down attempts to manipulate and control the truth are often met with steadfast resistance from the ground up. A top-down movement led by Elon Musk and Trump, again, will be met with a bottom-up resistance, and that is us. We are the resistance, so I'll leave it at that. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.